Welcome back to the Eric Krown crypto channel. Wishing you a happy and healthy start to life's FOMC day, baby. There is plenty to discuss today, as a lot has been set in motion from yesterday's closures and the CPI prints coming out. Although, a rather lackluster day in and of itself. I mean, more or less range plays on the medium-term timeframes there, which we'll be going over as well. But of course, on the higher-term timeframes, big focus on the things that have been set into motion and what's likely to come based upon that. Anyways, other than that, because it is FOMC day, I would say that the big focus today is going to be on the major numbers to be aware of. That on price action is what I mean, and what they kind of correlate to and how they kind of can change around the picture for right now. And other than that, I should once again let you know that you can still get the Jewel Light for free for the first 30 days if you follow the directions in the link in the description below. And then of course, yes, there is an affiliate link to the Apex exchange, which is a decentralized exchange, which you may or may not be interested in, as most exchanges are starting to go down right now. So that may be of value to you, and it'll also award you 5% off your trading fees for the lifetime of your account. All right, that's enough of that. Let's just jump right into it. Starting off where we left off yesterday. On the shorter term timeframes, we were looking at Bitcoin as likely to put in a short-term rally, at least to that 26.4 to 26.5-ish region, and fulfill that CME gap. Whether it's on a volatile wick or whether it gets accepted above, that was the real question of the day. In this case, a very obvious and clean rejection from that exact region right here, as you can see. And then what happens after that? Bitcoin comes back down to the bottom side of the range, and really haven't seen anything of significant note just yet. I suspect that probably gets going later today for FOMC when that comes out. And then of course on Friday you got quadruple root witching, which is likely to put fucking gasoline on this whole dumpster fire. But ultimately, as far as the lower term timeframes go, it's more or less the same actually. In fact, this makes it significantly easier looking at it right here, in the sense that, look, below 25,550 or 25,600 on a lower term timeframe closing basis, that's at the point where I'd really be looking for the next avalanche of price action to fall down, likely below 25,000 bucks, finding its next leg down somewhere between 24.5 to 25.8 or so. The bottom side of this next range low right here. But by contrast, the upside would be a lot more simple if it were to happen. I'll speak about why later I think it's less likely to happen. But in this case, going over here, let's just go ahead and reference CME's chart, throw on the Gaussian channel as well. I think this one becomes pretty damn clear. Any sort of a tick above yesterday's rejective high, which on CME was 26.555 and on spot price action was about $100 lower than that. But any sort of a tick above that, I would be looking for Bitcoin to put in a nice reversal and trade back up probably north of 27,000 bucks. The same analysis as yesterday still applies here, however, in the sense that, look, as long as Bitcoin's specifically below 27,300, even on a medium-term time frame closing basis, probabilities remain to the downside. And as we'll go over later in this video, probabilities just in general are going to be geared here towards the downside, regardless of that. Now, on the flip side, or on the other side, just to say, looking at the Gaussian channel right here on the daily, you can see a clear and obvious area of interest, right? Basically kind of where it's at right now, 25,750, I believe it is, or actually 25,800 on CME. For spot price action, it's going to be about $100 lower, of course, currently providing the impetus for a little bit of support. Again, if we saw a daily closure below that region, in contrast to what we looked at over here on a lower term time frame, like a 2-hour or a 4-hour, that would be another damn good indication that, I'd be looking for the next major leg to the downside to begin. I suppose, however, until this area does give way, whether it be on a daily or, on the lower term time frame that we just spoke about, maybe you might see a little bit of hopium. I mean, there could be some magical FOMC business going on a little bit later. Definitely possible, obviously. But once that kind of gives way, that's where kind of the last fit does end, at least in the more medium term for myself, based off the probabilities, which we'll go over soon. But yeah, going into the 5-day and the weekly here, we can see the same thing as far as the mean band goes. It's now starting to travel below 25,000 bucks. That'd be the next sort of obvious area of interest, which is where I'm getting that next leg down towards about 24.5 to 24.8 region. Again, if that next portion happens, of course. And it'd really only take a tick above yesterday's high for me to look at this as, boo laws have a chance, and we probably see a move at least to 27,000. And the real question is, does Bitcoin close above 27,300 or not? If it does, at that point, I'm going to switch around to being pretty damn bullish, actually. Anyways, going back into it over here, looking at the ranges. Well, I mean, there's not really anything new on these ranges, obviously, but what I would like to speak about is the stochastic momentum correlating to the the daily and below. And as you can see right here, daily stochastic momentum remains heavily positioned to the downside as long as Bitcoin's below 26,800. Again, trading significantly below that level right now. Of course, weirder things have happened on an FOMC day, but that would be the level to recover. 12-hour time frame is also going to be kind of nosediving from that same level, 26,550, the magical number right there, exactly at yesterday's high. 6-hour time frame is also going to be showing downside pressure below 26,000 and change, which Bitcoin on CME is trading a little bit below right now, not heavily though. 4-hour time frame also heavy down right there below 26, and hourly is going to be up, but will turn down below 25,912, which Bitcoin is trading $2 below right now. So, today is the bear Oz day. I do believe, if they are going to push, if bear Oz is going to push, today would be the day to do it. That is to say that if you don't see Bitcoin really break below this 25,8 region on a daily or a 25,5 region on a lower term time frame within the next day, I would say at max 48 hours. I guess that would be another good sign for the Bulas right there. But if you are going to be bearish, this would really be the time, in my opinion. And I'll explain why in detail right now, because that is the 2-day time frame chart that we've been referencing for quite some time now. Is looking like it is ready for expansion right here. This is the volatility versus stochastic momentum chart. Of course, anytime that volatility gets down below extreme lows, which I define as 10 percentile or more, and then naturally expands from those extreme lows, it has led to an average move of about 25%, let's say, over the course of about 19 days, so about 2.5 weeks. Standard deviation of about 9. And the direction of the stochastic also has been correcting it in the direction of the volatility expansion over 80% of the time. So pretty high hit rate right there. As of right now, we did just see another 2-day time frame closure, and this would officially be expansion right here, as far as I'm concerned. And of course, as of right now, the 2-day time frame stochastic oscillator is positioned to the downside, and on the 2-day time frame pivot, it is currently at 25,950, which Bitcoin is pretty much at right now. So two things here. If you want to be bearish, hey, where did my damn trend line go? Well, whatever, it doesn't matter. If you want to be bearish, two things. One is, you still have that position to the downside as long as it is below that pivot, which closes not tonight, but tomorrow night, actually. And then two, it is being held within the bearish control zone. Now, one point of contention for the Bulas here would be basically, it is already, pretty fucking deep into the bearish control zone. It's not necessarily in the critical zone just yet, which is what I probably would like to see on a move like this. But theoretically, it will be difficult to kind of keep momentum this low for this, for super long. That is to say that realistically, before this next closing period, we'd really be expecting this one to be like moving closer towards that target. And of course, when we're looking at an average move in like the mid 20%, I mean, that could be quite devastating. As that would obviously bring Bitcoin all the way down to $21,000. Now there is some variance within that, obviously with the standard deviation at 9. So on the lower end, we might see somewhere in like the low 24s, upper 23s, something like that, in the next couple, in the next 2 to 3 weeks. And then I suppose the other point of hopium that I could give the Bulas here as well is that 80% hit rate, or a little bit over 80% hit rate, is not the same thing as 100% hit rate. It's pretty fucking high. It's pretty fucking good. And for what it's worth, the last several of these signals have actually worked out pretty damn well. So, is it due for a failure? You be the judge of that, obviously. But ultimately, I going off statistics right here, I would have to say that I would be looking for this one to have a downside resolution based upon that, and if we don't really see that start to happen in the next 48 hours before this next period closing, I would say that then I would start to look at this one as likely to fail. One last thing before I let you go, because you're being held here against your will right now. It's like a fucking YouTube rape. Oh man, just fucking goofed up on that one now, didn't I? Should definitely not say that word on YouTube. Terrible attempt at a joke. But that's why I'm on YouTube and not a comedian. It's like, You come here for a silly goose time. You don't come here for politically correct commentary. Anyways, just following up on Dixie from yesterday as well. That same sort of hidden bearish divergence is in play here. I am still looking for Dixie to come down. So another point of hopium for the Bulas there. But realistically, these sort of range plays that we've seen on Dixie have not really, helped or not necessarily helped Bitcoin over the past couple months, to be quite frank. Ultimately, we saw this one actually rally up from May to kind of where we're at right now. And what has Bitcoin done? I mean, it's basically been sideways. So I don't really look at that as like super conclusive. But nonetheless, this would be implying that the FOMC is probably going to come out and maybe just maybe devalue the dollar a little bit, which would mean what? Either start of a pause in June, probably very unlikely, definitely not going to cut, but perhaps a pause. So fair enough. What's really benefiting from this, however, is traditional markets. Obviously, new highs on the year for NASDAQ yet again. Same thing on fucking SPY as well. It's rather impressive right here. Yeah, at some point they will pull back, but they can travel a little bit higher before I'd be super concerned for SPY. For NASDAQ, it's starting to get a little bit more concerning here, I suppose. Maybe another leg up towards like 15.4, 15.5-ish region, and then maybe a short-term, medium-term pullback. But as far as Bitcoin's concerned, it really hasn't been, helping or not helping it out as of late. So I will leave things right there. I expect we'll have more to talk about tomorrow, as today is a big day, leading into, of course, a big expiration on Friday. So we have a lot of fucking events today. So keep an eye out for that, and I expect that an update will be massively warranted tomorrow. So with that said, I want to be wishing you the best as always. Take care, much love, and see you hopefully Thursday.